almost everyone in the family,
Even the business.
even the business and even the neighbors, even anyone who knows the person,
Affected.
somehow everybody is affected one way or the other. And so that's why we don't pray for cancer. But when we now narrow it down to childhood cancer, meaning that even children can have cancers, and that's a big one. That's a big one because what uh, one many people would believe is that okay, maybe cancers would be for adults who have exposed themselves to certain things, certain conditions, certain food, and all that. But what about a child who's just coming to the world afresh? What is
engaged in negative
who
vices?
hasn't
What
done
is the contributing to
anything
cancer?
innocent, so to say? Why is he or she having a cancer? So, but we will put the question straight to our guests who are in the studio, who are knowledgeable in this area, and they will be able to help us find the right answers and, of course, the way to go this morning. We want to appreciate you for joining us on this discussion segment of the program. This is a very special one, a special one dedicated to health, dedicated to my challenge today, and who might need help one way or the other. So, welcome you to the segment. Now, we have guests in the studio. They are special guests. You don't get to see them much, but we thank God they are here in our studio this morning. And they are from the Lions International. Yes, Lions Club International, District 404B4. They will guide me if I'm wrong about it. But all the same, we will get to the discussion right away. We have this morning the District Governor for B4, Lion Engineer Taiwo Oladayo Fatoke. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So was I right the way I called it District 404B4?
Yes.
That's the way to call it.
Perfectly.
Oh, great. Great. So you're welcome to our studio, sir. Now, we also have this morning Dr. Sahib Akimbode. I'm not sure he's a lion, but he will tell us if he is one. He's from the Federal Medical Center, Abeokuta. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, very much.
Are you a lion or a lioness?
I'm one of the supporters.
Welcome on board, sir.
Thank you.
Well, also here in the studio this morning, childhood cancer. Let's begin with that.
Good morning, presenters. Good morning, people listening to us this morning. We really appreciate your presence, your listening. The relationship is the program we have as Lions needs expertise, just like any thing that you want to do. You need people who have specialty in that, who are specialists in that field, to be able to direct you and to be able to. So in Lions Club, what we do is provide the enabling environment for the issues we want to take place. To provide the enabling environment, we now source. Among us, we have doctors. Even in FMC, we have a Lions Club that we are proposing. I don't know whether it has come up, but we have people there. So those type of people, when we have programs like this, they join us to lend their hands. In Lions, we use everything we have. We use our time, our treasure, and our time. In technology, anything goes to better the lives of human beings, the lives of the less privileged.
Now, but when you say you use what you have to better the lot, can we go through some of the things you have done in the past? To help people. Just a few. I want people to have an idea of what you do.
God bless you. That means this program won't end.
I like that.
Because we've been in the Lions Club, we are over 100 years in the world.
Okay.
But we came to Nigeria 46 years ago. And we have what we call, in fact, from the international body, one of our international organization, our headquarters is in Oakbrook in US. That is where it originates from. And since 1917, in fact, without being out, I would say we are the only NGO, non-governmental organization, that has affiliation with United Nations. When you want to draw the charter after the war, Lions Club was contacted. We were part of the people that draft the charter for non-governmental organizations. And to show the importance, when we were marking our 100 years anniversary, US gave us a coin. They branded it was extendable. we have so many presidents that have been part and parcel of this organization. That's to show you, even the great Jimmy Carter and all of them, the lions. That's to show you the late Akintola Williams is the brilliant lion in Nigeria. He was the one that brought lions to Nigeria. You know the and then we have in Ogun State here, if you go to Ota, the doctor can corroborate that our health center, I mean the general hospital, we have a nice center here.
Great.
We have in Meko, we have in fact here in Abeokuta here, just go to Hansen Disease Center. Most of the structures there are built by lions or renovated by lions.
Wonderful.
So many.
Okay,
I can't
so
just
we can't exhaust
continue.
that.
Schools,
Okay.
when you go to School of Handicap in Nigeria, we have a big structure there. These are things that we do collectively because our motto is we serve and we use the collective power of money.
All right, thank you very much. Let's not exhaust that now because of our time. But there is still a part you will tell me before we go on this program today, and that is why you chose, or why that Aseo chose the name lion. Lion is a dreaded animal, but now you say that now you say that you impact the lives of people. So you tell us that by the time we wrap the package today. But let's go to the main issue on the front burner today. That is child cancers or something like that. Now, Doctor, it's good that you are here this morning. The first
Thank you very much, Hancock, and good morning once again on this one's happening. I would like to start by appreciating everyone here, and especially the Lions Club for putting this up. They are very supportive to our patients and even the community at large. So many times we have patients with financial constraints, and we just to put the constraints away. Thank you very much for that. A child will have cancer for reasons unknown to many, just like adults also do. But of course, for adults, there are many reasons why adults will come down with cancer. But most childhood cancers have unknown etiology, unknown causative agent. So most of the time, are inherited. There are some children born with specific disorders that once you see them, you identify as a medical personnel, you are able to recognize those disorders, and those with those disorders particularly, they are risk of many types of cancers. And some of them are even born with the cancer. Without the disorder, they are born with cancers. And those cancers manifest within the first 2 to 5 years of life. Those are called embryonal cancers. And as well, sometimes environmental influence also plays a role in fact, with respect to maybe the role of chemicals, exposure to chemicals, exposure to radiation, and even exposure to anti-cancer drugs themselves. Because anti-cancer drugs, previous exposure to anti-cancer drugs may also be a risk factor for developing another cancer later in life. So those are the reasons for cancers in children. So in a nutshell.
But Dr. Saheed, what are the early signs and symptoms of childhood cancer that parents should look out for?
Okay, thank you for that question. There are different types of cancers, and the signs and symptoms will depend on the type of cancers that they have. For example, any part of the body can be affected by cancers and by abnormal growth. Because I think we should actually start from what cancers are. Cancers are abnormal growth. The basic functional unit of the body is cells, and the cells are supposed to grow at a regulated pace. So they grow, they also die at a regulated pace. So when what checkmates the growth and the death, when it's removed, then they tend to grow abnormally. Once they grow abnormally, they exceed the normal limits, and they tend to harm the subject, the bearer. So it may happen in the head, it may happen in the brain, that's brain cancers. It may involve the muscles, that's what they call rhabdomyosarcoma. It may involve the nerve sheath, neuroblastoma. It may even affect the kidney and other types of cancers. Actually, the list is actually non-exhaustive. So, but the signs of cancer, the symptoms of cancer, is back to our question. So it depends on where the cancer is. For example, for a child with a brain tumor, they have something like early morning vomiting. They may have behavioral changes. They may have a convulsion, and by that time, the team must have perhaps advanced or whatever. So, they are for patients, for children with leukemia, that's blood cancer. They may present, they may have easy fatigability, easy bruising, unexplained fever that has that has lingered for a while, persistent fever, thank you, bone pain, and likewise, a child with abdominal cancer, like renal cancer, for example, may pass bloody urine, even have hypertension. One would wonder why a child would have hypertension. So that's one hypertension, yes, high blood pressure. So that's one of the causes of high blood pressure in children.
All right, before we continue with the education on the child cancer and all the issues around it, I'd like to put this straight to the government. Is there a special commemoration that the Lions Club is having, that brings attention and focus on child cancer right now?
Yes, this month of September we start cancer awareness month, and just like the doctor
Is
said,
that within Lions Club or
Generally,
globally? Okay.
global cancer awareness month. And the most important thing in life is when you detect a disease early in, which the doctor has just said, and that is why the rate over there is the rate at which you survive over there is better than here, because the presenter said early this month. So, and in order to alleviate this, it's very expensive to treat cancer, just like the Lions Club treats. In the FMC, Ebutimeta, High District, we have a cancer caregiver home. People attend cancer patients that cannot go home. Most of them sleep in corridor. So we take caregiver home, rooms, self-contained, and they use it. They are not taking money from them. And last year alone, this year we are still going to do. Every year we have endowment fund. Last year we put in over 2.5 million for people who the doctors or the hospital knows they are indigent and find it difficult to treat children with cancer. Because it's one of the 8 core programs that Lions do take every year. If there is time, we'll go through others. So they put from this money to assist such patients. And if you are called upon, we find a way of raising funds from within ourselves and art. And we'll be doing this sometime now.
All right, doctor,
Yes, thank you.
the treatment of cancer generally can be very, very costly, demanding, and all that. Another thing is knowing the difference between, because some of the things you said the other time about, what happens when a child has cancer. These are some of the things that may happen when a child is normally sick. Convulsion, we know that children who just convulse, not because they have cancers. So we know or differentiate between typical childhood illnesses and when it is cancer. Number one. Number two, treatment for the child. Even for adults, sometimes they say, hey, cancer, wow. So for a child, how does it happen? What is the process?
Thank you very much for that question. It's very important to differentiate between the general illnesses and cancer. And that, I think, that's one of the essence of this HIV awareness of cancer, so that people can know. Really, when it's just about the duration, when something has lingered, if a child has a headache, for example, maybe in 1, 2, 3 days after maybe taking anti-malaria or something, then it should abate or it should resolve completely. But when it lingers and the child starts having early morning vomiting, for example, I'm talking about brain tumor now, the brain cancers. So early morning vomiting or something headache, it means that for any clinician, it's a warning sign. And there are some things that don't just happen. For example, bleeding, bruising, bleeding from maybe mouth or other places. They don't just happen. In any illness. So if it happens in other illnesses, it must be a very severe illness. And in that case, even when that child presents to the hospital, we try to rule out other possibilities of cancer. Likewise, there are some other things that can happen with cancer. Swelling, any swelling. Swelling don't just happen. It's either from infection or from malignancies, cancer that you're discussing. So once a child has swelling, it's time to come to the hospital for us to this the type of abnormal swelling of cancer. So one of those are the ways of distinguishing. There are several types of cancer. For example, there can be bone tumors also. So in bone tumors, they have bone pain, and this bone pain has been that will not be explained by maybe trauma. The patient fell down or the child fell down and injured himself or something. So it has been that so you know that is the problem. Also, abnormal swelling of the cannot be explained by fall or any other thing. So it's about the duration of illness. That's number one. Then about the treatment. Treatment of childhood cancers is also like that of adults. Yeah, adults have that part. So it's not so different from that. And there are different types of treatments depending on the type of cancer. So there's chemotherapy, that's use of drugs to treat cancer. Then we have radiotherapy, it's a type of a special radiation that is also used. Likewise, surgery to treat cancer. So,
All right, so we'll get to about child cancer. Now, let me give this to the governor, Lion Engineer Taiwo Nadapo Fatuke. Now, what is the for this year's commemoration by the Lions Club?
In our own district 404 before, that is why we have multiple, we are in multiple districts.
Oh, okay.
And we become multiple districts depending on population.
Okay.
We started from single district, district 404, and because of population, when we started, we bifurcated. And so our own district is district 404 before Nigeria. We cover from Lagos, part of Lagos, Ota, Abeokuta, Ibadan, and so on like that.
Yeah.
So for as we are having this program in Abeokuta here, they are also having it in Lagos, they're also having it in Ibadan, and they're also having it in Ota.
Right.
So we make it into axis for easier, but the Lions clubs are community-based clubs. They are supposed to look at the environment. If my own club, the Dr. Lions Club, in my community, what we need will be quite different from what somebody in Lagos might need. For example, Lagos is there for it. And that's why we say we are uniting to fight childhood cancer.
So that
which has been on every year.
does that mean that there are more child cancers here? And that is why you are looking at this for this year.
Childhood cancer is global. Just like the doctor said, it's global.
Okay.
It's not limited to a particular city or village or anything. No. But the most important thing is to be aware.
Okay. Create
That's
awareness.
yes.
All right. So let's move to the next step.
Okay, Dr. Sahid, looking at a child that has been diagnosed of child cancer now, how can the families, like the parents, the siblings, cope about the emotional and the psychological effects?
That's a big question. Cancer, they say, affects Once a child is affected, then all members of that family are affected. So it's not actually, it's a good one. Family is not easy on them to coping because we are actually talking about the implication of cancer, the family, to the child as an individual, school disruption, the child will be separated from the peers, and as well the child will also, uh, apart from the effects of the drugs, the toxicity of the drugs, because those the parents they have to take a break from work. Sometimes both parents they have to look after the child, and the other siblings are they are also separated from the parents because they I mean you have to be taken elsewhere for care at that particular time. And the problem of bereavement is also there. Sometimes you lose siblings that are minus, so it's not something that's easy for me. So that is the essence of any presentation and of course the theme of this program. So you can, if these things are, if they are picked, and I think it's necessary for us to know the difference between childhood cancer and adult cancer.
Okay.
One of the peculiarities of childhood cancer is that most of them are largely cured. They are largely
Okay.
largely
That will to my next question. That can they be cured?
so they are largely curable. So once they present early, so most times you find cure for them. And this disparity between the statistics, I think you read it in the introduction. You told us in the introduction that most cancers in the advanced countries, 80% of them are cured, and here you have just have 20%. The reasons is great presentation. Once we treat them at advanced stage, and people don't even know that French do have cancer. So, and it's that bad. So, if we pick them early, we're able to take appropriate actions. And if fund is also available for their care, that's another caveat. Now, we also try to build in some other forms of therapy support. We have social support, social workers in the hospital. We have physiotherapists, the other support groups in the hospital because cancer care is not just by the pediatrician or pediatric oncologist. The surgery team is also there. The physiotherapists, psychologists, and other people that are also involved in the care, so that you can give the children and the family a holistic approach to the care, so that they will have minimal, the impact will be minimal. Although, of course, it will still be there, so but it will be minimized on the family.
Okay, we will open the lines right now for the listener at home to be part of this morning's program. It's a special awareness program for the Cancer Awareness Week, which is being commemorated globally, but then Alliance Club International District 404B4 in the studio this morning, giving us awareness on child cancer. It says it is together for a cure, uniting to fight childhood cancer. Well, it's new to me that children have cancers, one way or the other, because of the nature of cancers, Then the doctor said that it is possible for, that they are largely curable. But before I ask that question, let's pick this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Doctor, good morning to you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah. Doctor, very low. Yeah, that was.
Now,
It's a bit better, but speak louder. Thanks.
thank you very much. I'm giving help in the next one.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I want to manage and at the next level, I want to say that how Dr. Dinisha and somebody all the children to the actually have a huge progression in your progression. Now, I'm so that as unit and the unit was that of cancer and it was really abolished that and I was so appreciative that had survivor not guarantee but still help and clean way to medicine is a great work and philanthropy and not all most of us by elders well CI looks grow my life so that was the thing that I knew I need to black up and these are drop off of the global good and it's good luck you that time
Amen.
not situation to be taken for granted. I want to friend of mine, yes, and it's not even when I the more that we find the grade of children, but now too much that are there. Just in the kind of adults, we have different things that develop that need a lot. The lemon, also that because the standard and things, the product, lemon and other things. Do you think they get that? Do you think some of these things can be enough for you know, emphasize that you shouldn't do that like think
Thank you very much. Money draining, and then it takes a big toll on the family. You give advice to parents who might have children who have come down with cancer.
for this we are talking about.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so let's just wrap up.
Okay, thank you very much. The questioner. It depends on the type of cancer. Like we said earlier, most pediatric cancers, childhood cancers are cured. Most of them, especially when they present early, because that is very important. Because by the time cancers advance and it has sent metastasis in college to other places, then at that time the chance for cure may be very, very dim. So.
So early presentation is very important.
It's very important. It's very important. And for about traditional medicine, well, when children are sick, everybody, even adults, when people try to
Rally
rally
around.
around others, but most important thing is that you should not forget to come to the hospital and stick to the healthcare provider's advice. So nobody will say don't do this, don't do that, but you should come to the hospital.
All right, our time is fast spent, and we need to go soon on this special edition. But then, the governor. Let me end up with this package with you. A lion is a dreaded animal. It eats flesh, but now the Lions Club is trying to protect human beings. How is that?
Well, the word lions is an acronym.
Okay.
It's an acronym,
Okay.
not the meaning.
All right.
But there are some symbiotic relationships. I'll go
Okay.
to that. The meaning of lion is loving individuals offering needed
Oh,
service.
beautiful.
That is one.
Okay.
But in our own prayer, like the Lion's Prayer, he said, liberty, intelligence, our nation's safety.
Beautiful.
Those are the two acronyms.
Okay.
And the symbiotic,
Yes.
but not because of his size or because of his speed, but it's because of resilience
Okay.
and ability
Okay.
to persevere. That's why.
All right. Loving individuals offering needed services. Lions have been in the studio with us this morning. I wanted to say a big thank you to the district governor, District 404 B4, Lion Engineer Taiwo Oladayo Fatoke. Thank you for coming around this morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
A big thank you also to Dr. Sahib Akimbode from the Federal Medical Center of Abeokuta. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Lion Rotimi A. Olaoye, the Childhood Cancer Chairperson. A big
And also with them are Lion Adetutu, Adegbinle, NLCF, also Lion Ayoride Orija, MJF, Lion Oluwasegun Ajitawu, also Lion Abisoye Shoneye, Lion Monelade Adejumo, Lion Akintola Akisoya, and Lion Aderayo Egniade.
Of lions in the house.
Lions in the house.
Everyone will read it more. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you.
Yeah, the floor is still open for anybody that wants to. Our motto is we serve. The more we are, the more